Who knows? Okay. Three strikes. Three times is a charm. I was going to say three strikes and you're out, but three times a charm. Anyway, um, again, just an historic day in American history with Hank Aaron breaking Babe Ruth's record. He ended up with 755 home runs, and I'm proud to say that I saw Hank Aaron hit a home run when he was a member of the Milwaukee Brewers against the Red Sox. Maybe this will do it. Who knows? I really appreciate y'all coming back like that. That makes me feel good, and I really, really appreciate it for having the patience to connect or to come back time and time again. All right, so now that that's taken care of, prison being named in Miami for Trump, which I think is hilarious. It's the ultimate in trolling. I love that crap. Um, Shit, what's going on now? Okay, there we go. All right, Congress back in session. Actually, let's start with the breaking news. So the Trump team tried to get the venue moved for his court hearing that starts for his trial, his criminal trial that starts in New York on Monday. The judge denied the claim. So at this point, the trial starts. They've tried everything they can to get the case dismissed. They're trying to get the gag order reversed. That appeal is still pending, but the appeals court judge said no, this trial is going forward and it happens Monday. Um, so whatever. I mean, it's just if you're I think what you're seeing now is that the judicial system is seeing through all these games that the Trump team is playing. Everything they're going to do, everything they're doing is just obvious, and the judicial system is finally saying no more of this bullshit. So I'm glad that they're finally standing up and doing something about it. Congress back in session. Mike Johnson is kind of he's in a tough spot because he's got this Ukraine spending bill that the Senate has bipartisan approval. That if he brought it to the floor of the House, it would pass overwhelmingly. MTG pissed off because she didn't get her way in regards to the government shutdown, and God forbid, Mike Johnson worked with the Democrats to try to pass legislation and keep the government open. God forbid, doing his job. So she said she was going to issue a motion to vacate. I guess it's pending a few other things. So if he brings that bill, he's likely going to have to deal with the coup, and he might get Democratic support in that. What I think is really, really interesting, though, is that the MAGA chuds in Congress and also the MAGA base complain about these single issue bills. So Mike Johnson decided he was going to craft his own bill for Ukraine, and just so happens that he threw some line items in there about offshore drilling off the coast of Louisiana, his home state. Last time I checked, Anthony, Louisiana offshore drilling has nothing to do with Ukraine, but I don't know. So he's in a tough
Yeah,
spot.
not only does it have nothing to do, but the amount of money those who drill have lost off the coast of Louisiana due to
Mm-hmm.
storms, they're not coming
Exactly.
back for quite some time. The money's not there right now because of Trump. So many of them went out of business that
Correct.
none of the big uh, oil companies are going to waste their time doing it. There's no ROI on
Exactly.
resetting up rigs in the Gulf of
Exactly.
Mexico.
It's just the hypocrisy, right, about these single issue bills. This is what happens. So um, the challenge that he faces is that if he doesn't bring a bill to the floor and there's a motion to vacate from MTG, no Democrats are going to save him. If he brings a motion to the floor, but it's not the bill that's already passed in the Senate, then the likelihood of Democrats trying to save him is slim and none. Oh, and by the way, Mike Gallagher leaves Congress next week, so the margin in the GOP House is down to one vote. So we will see what's going to happen. So many members, I think it's 21, I wrote it down somewhere. 21 members of the House GOP have either resigned already and or have announced their retirement this year. So, and a lot of those districts are swing districts, which means if there's no incumbent running, then chances are that pendulum swings back. Similarly, um, There is a story. Mike Turner, who is a leading member of the Republican GOP, he's a leader of the Judiciary Committee. He's been talking about how Russian disinformation has now permeated its way into the House floor. So there's legislation and there's conversations that are being talked about. And I'll pull up the quote that he said. He talked about where is it? He said, "We see directly." Mike Turner, GOP rep Mike Turner said yesterday that Russian propaganda has taken hold among some of his House Republican colleagues and is even being, quote, uttered on the House floor. We see directly coming from Russia communications that are anti-Ukraine and pro-Russia messaging, some of which we even hear being uttered on the House floor. There are members of Congress today who still incorrectly say that this conflict between Russia and Ukraine is over NATO, which of course it's not. Turner's office did not immediately respond to NBC News' request for clarification about which members of Congress he was referring to. So we talk often about not only the fascistic takeover of our country, but the useful idiots that Putin is targeting by design to message. And now that messaging, that anti-American, pro-Russian, and anti-Ukraine messaging has seeped its way into Congress, and now we're seeing members of the Republican Party in Congress sharing that kind of bullshit. So if you don't think that Russia has been influential in domestic politics, then you're nuts. Then you are absolutely crazy. We probably should do the disclaimer real quick here before we go too deeply. I got it. TikTok, it is our intention during these live broadcasts to only provide fact-based information to the absolute best of our ability. We strive to never spread misinformation or to platform those that do. Opinions of our guests or commenters are theirs and theirs alone and do not reflect those of the hosts. Hate speech is not allowed and we are diligent about policing it. This platform is for educational purposes only. Anthony loves the TikTok shop. Speaking of shop, if you'd like to support the channel, there's a gifting goal this evening. We are one subscriber away from 100. Thank you to all the subscribers. For those of you who do subscribe, you get custom emotes. They're in the comment section. They're really cool. I did those myself. Yes, I did something myself without blowing shit up. It's amazing. It wasn't really hard, but I'll pat myself on the back. Please visit the numerous links that are in the link tree in my bio, including the merch store, merch on display. If you'd like to support what Anthony does, there's a link to his Pay app, his Cash app in my bio, and there's other ways to support the channel as well. Thank you very, very much. We appreciate you. Okay, so anything else on your mind, sir, before we get into a couple of other topics?
Before I forget,
Yeah.
a user by the name of Jen sent me money to my Cash App. I would like to thank you as the very first person who has sent me money to my Cash App. I am not asking, but it's certainly nice to receive. So thank you very much, Jen.
Thank you,
Not
Jen.
my wife, Jen, because it was one N and not two. And we have to be
Hey
very
now.
clear that my wife is Jenn. So,
Ooh, well,
yes,
okay. It's the battle of the gens.
I'm just saying
It's an Anthony sandwich.
it's a delicious sandwich.
I take it Jen's out for the evening.
Wait, nope. Hold on.
You guys are so funny. Ha 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 ha.
I appreciate you, Jen. Buy a mug. Okay.
Busted.
Hey, and thank you guys. By the way, we just hit that sub goal. Thank you very, very much. 100 subscribers. Thank you all very, very much. I really appreciate all of you. You guys are awesome. All right, so let's get into some of the things that are going on the campaign trails while we fight back against fascism, because we all know that Mr. Trump has dodged the issue of making a statement on whether or not he wants a national abortion ban. So you may have noticed that he's not answered that question directly. We all know where this was going. He came out over the weekend and did this 4.5 minute video and said that he wants to leave it up to the states. So what he's done, he's obviously pissed off the left. And he's also pissed off the conservatives on the right because they wanted, the pro-life movement, I should say the pro-forced birth movement, wants him to make that statement that it is going to be a national abortion ban. So he wouldn't go as too far. So the Biden team immediately jumped on that. And I'm gonna play this ad because I think it's brilliant. First of all, this is Donald Trump's history on women and abortions. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, we know how he feels about that. So the Biden team, of course, quick to jump on these kinds of things. Very very responsive, and the marketing that they're doing about this is great. As soon as I can find it here, where did I put it?
By the way, when you're trying to play audio, it's not coming through. So I don't know if it's the new toy that is being rudus interruptus.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting. It's coming through in my app. Well, that's interesting. I won't bother playing it then. Well, I'll try it this way. Hold on. Maybe you can hear it like this instead. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on here. I guess I'll have to fix that. Anyway, long story short, the Biden campaign is literally taking advantage of the language that Donald Trump has used and is turning that into an ad that they're going to be running in swing states across the country. So Trump has bragged repeatedly about saying, I'm responsible for overturning Roe v. Wade. I put the judges on the court. I'm the one that's done it. So um, great marketing, great campaigning. Similarly, over the weekend, Trump was at, and you and I were talking about this earlier. There was a fundraising event at Marifato, right, where the claims were that he raked in like $50 million. Those are not public claims; those are statements to the federal election commissions, and campaign finance laws require you to publicize the information that you raise, and that's not yet been done as far as we know. We know the Biden team has raised 175, 180 million dollars so far. So there's questions about whether or not this is legit, as to whether or not they raise this money. Anyway, Bernie and Joe Biden did a campaign together because Trump during that event said, "I'm going to cut your taxes." And that group was billionaires and millionaires that came to that event. I'm going to cut your taxes. And
Yep.
we know full well that the Biden team is focusing on taxing those same people, tax the rich. So again, elections are about contrast, as we know. They always have been. Those two examples that we just went through, Joe Biden wanting to protect a woman's right to bodily autonomy, Donald Trump not. Joe Biden wanting to tax the richest to protect the middle class so that we can invest in America. Donald Trump wants to hand out more corporate welfare. Elections are about contrast.
Indeed. And what was Trump's Trump said, this is important that we add this. Uh, while speaking about immigrants, Trump said that he wished immigrants only came from rich countries, aka white people.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's great. So that's who he is, ladies and gentlemen. And we also know that the trial is going to start next week. We know that where else? By the way, the bond. Speaking of Mr. Trump, the $175 million bond that we were talking about last week, which was posted somewhat nefariously, that bond has not been accepted. Therefore, that bond has not been posted because the company involved, Knight Financing, I think is what they're referred to as.
Yes,
They
correct.
they are not registered to do business in the state of New York, which means that
Also,
yeah. Also, go ahead.
also, the audited financials that are required when posting this bond were also not present within the paperwork.
Correct. That's
Shocking.
exactly right. Shocking. So, what Letitia James has said, okay, guess what? I'm going to start going through the pick list of properties I'm going to seize. So I know that seemed like a win back a week or so ago, MAGA, but it's not a win. So
Yep.
that $175 million, by the way, it wasn't even posted as a bond. There was supposed to be cash securities against that bond that Trump was supposed to put up, and he didn't. So, yeah. Anyway, lots going on. We're off to a rousing start. Let's. I mean, I'd like to try to bring up some ops tonight, but I'm happy to talk to our friends as we always do. Again, there is a live goal this evening. Appreciate you guys. I do want to bring up our friend Crow.
Yes.
Good
Our
evening, sir.
mutual.
That is awesome. Yeah, I'm so glad that looks really good, actually.
It does fantastic.
How does it feel?
Lovely.
La
Like
la 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 la.
Corinthian leather. I don't know if you'll get that joke, but Anthony surely does.
I got the joke. So, have you guys seen the incredibly disturbing video that Donald Trump posted on his Truth Social?
About abortion in particular?
No.
Oh,
I
man.
it has been sent to me, but I have not watched it yet. It was just Nikki sent it to me before the live started. It
Okay.
is Creep Factor 9000.
Okay, so you have to see this then. So let me turn around for this. You've
You want
got
the
to
big
see
screen?
this. It's absolutely incredible. And just so you know, I am on Truth Social. If you want to make me big, you can. I'm on Truth Social. This is
Truth
Donald Trump.
Central.
This is Donald Trump's profile, so you don't think I'm faking this in any way, shape, or form. Let me crank up the volume here so you can hear it as well.
Oh boy.
Maybe. I need a refresh. Refresh.
It's the eclipse, man.
It is.
It's the rapture.
All right, hopefully you can hear this.
No way. No way. Oh my Oh my God. Holy shit.
I have been laughing for a solid hour on this.
Oh my God. Wow. And you know what? Members of the cult will play it on loop. That's your boy, MAGA. That's your boy. Wow.
Whoever made that, I wish I would have made that. I wish that I would have thought of that.
It's true.
That was incredible. Oh my God. So anyway,
Well, you know, it's interesting because I've always had this theory that there's somebody that works either in the messaging machine for the RNC or for Trump that are fucking with him on purpose. I mean, how else could you explain that, right?
you have to see the messages on it.
Sure.
It gets better. So I shared this.
Wow. Oh my God. Primal Blueprint. Wow. Yeah, but not a cult. Holy
Of course,
shit.
it's not a cult.
Holy shit. Exactly. Exactly, usual. Explain, MAGA, how you're not in a cult. Explain
Yeah.
it. Holy shit.
The Q
Man.
is very strong in those comments.
Wow. Dude. Wow.
Like, my particular favorite part of the messaging was that Trump is going to plunge us all in the darkness.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, I mean, I thought I had a great eclipse spot today, but man, I would have rather have seen that one. That would have been much better. Can you imagine? Holy shit.
I
That's
just had
on
to share.
that's on Troith Central, as he likes to say.
Bro,
Wow.
it is 100% on his, like, that's why I went through the steps to make sure you saw it was on his page. I did not make this. This was not this. He posted this. He posted this as if this is like a thing. Like, this was in between. It's incredible.
But that's one word to use.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Like, he's not even like I is he not a I
Yeah. Well, he thinks it's great. Again, he's sitting back thinking that this is incredible. This is how much my people love me. Meanwhile, the majority of this Earth One are just mocking him.
I've never seen anything that funny before.
I agree.
All right, guys. Well,
Thank
I'm
you,
glad
brother.
that you got your merch. And yeah,
Updates to come, friends. We're working on that. And my friend Whisper here is helping out a hell of a lot, and I appreciate you, buddy. There's going to be more updates, and we'll be talking about it soon. But thank you, man. It's great.
absolutely. You guys have a good one.
You too, bud. Be well. Oh my God.
Hey, let me ask
Wow.
you a question really quick
Sure.
because you know our follower Nino from New York or
Sure do.
Boston, wherever he's from.
Sure. He's
Do you
definitely not from Boston.
remember? Do you remember as a person when you would go up to a storefront and they would have hours of operations and it would say weekdays, Monday through Friday. It would then list the hours. And then below it was this thing called weekend.
Weekends.
And it would list 2 days, which were Saturday and Sunday,
Sunday.
because the week is Monday through Friday. The
Correct.
weekend does not start until 12:01 a.m. Saturday morning. But
Correct.
he was trying to tell me I'm an idiot.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah,
He basically the claim is that he worked 50 hours over the weekend, and my
right.
response was like, I don't think that the math ain't mathin'.
No, not
Anyway,
not only is the math not mathing, but this
right.
is proof that people are that are in a cult. They hear what they want to believe because they conflate things all of the time.
Exactly.
Right?
I've been back and forth with him numerous times on a variety of things. He's one of those people, trigger warnings, ladies, that does not believe a woman when she's essayed.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
will pivot and spin around. And I've asked him the question directly as to what the jury stated about deliberate and forcible penetration with his fingers, and he will pivot around it. And I've decided that he needs an honor. There needs to be some sort of he's earned something. I'm not sure what it is yet, but anyway, let's jump in for the
Yeah.
night. We have a lot to
Do
talk
it.
about. Continue to like and share, guys. Tap, tap, tap that screen and share to your favorite friends and folks. Truth Teller, how are you tonight?
Good, how are you?
Fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
Actually, I was going back and forth with that Nino guy too.
Yeah,
I kind of
nuts.
tagged you in a video, and he said, "Well, look at his supporters now. They're doubling down on his stupidity." I'm just like,
What?
it's not Friday. Friday is the weekday,
Right.
and if you want to say even Friday night, but Friday is the weekday, not a weekend. He's like, look at how stupid they are. They're
Right. Like
doing this.
if we
They're
wanted to
doubling
say,
down.
right, if we wanted to say that Friday evening was the start of the weekend, then by that definition, Sunday evening would be the end of the weekend. So then, therefore, that would still be 48 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
But he just kept doing videos. He's back and forth. He's like, "Oh yeah, I slam dunked on you and blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Dude, you didn't." Like just
Yeah.
did the typical MAGA trick and be like, "Well, you're never gonna be approved by your daddy, so stop trying."
Exactly. That's your style of life.
So
Thank you for that, brother. Appreciate you.
yeah, no worries. Yeah, I just thought it was hilarious. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
So much
Well,
going on, and you're worried about what day is the weekend?
it's hard to tell if it's satire or what's real or what's not these days. It's often difficult to tell.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for jumping in,
All
bro. We
right. Well,
appreciate you very much.
thank
You have
you,
a good
man.
night. You
Yep.
got it.
You
Later,
too.
buddy. Bye. Yeah, we bang into these folks all the time. Sometimes it's like head first into the door. Sometimes it's just like a casual like brush of the shoulder. Yeah. Anyway, hey Taryn, where'd you go? Taryn. Exactly. MAGA math. 74 million is greater than 81 million. Taryn, you can request again, brother. Looks like you might have timed out. Continue to like and share, guys. Let's try to drive up that algorithm. And everybody could, if you guys could just tap for 5 seconds, 10 seconds each, I'd appreciate that. Hey, Poe.
Hey, I'm feeling just a little bit traumatized by the video that was just played.
Oh my God, I know, right? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
because last eclipse, the same music, the same like view of the sun, but one of my sons had made a video where his balls covered the sun.
I don't even want to talk about that.
So I was scared they were gonna show that video, and like I was like, oh my gosh, did they get a hold of? And it was just about as bad, but yeah, a little traumatized right now.
Yeah,
But
I'm gonna have to find that and put that on loop and do a video about it because that's crazy. If you're out there, Whisper, please send that to me, bro. If you haven't already, or
yeah,
maybe Nikki,
that's
maybe if Nick, if somebody can, I need to do a video about that.
you
We need
know,
to talk
and I
about that some
think
more.
the problem is like his followers are gonna take it as like a joke. Like they take everything, that he says it's kind of crazy. They think it's just a joke. Yeah, I just think he's funny. But it's not really funny. And the other thing that I wanted to say was that they often say that we wanted a businessman because we need a good businessman because the country is a business.
Mm.
And it's such a weird statement to make, anyway. But they have on their side some really good businessmen. Why did they choose the worst? Like, they
Mm.
want a businessman who runs everything into the ground? Like, that's insane. They have Mercer, they have, you know, they have a lot of really successful businessmen on their side, and that's the one they choose? Like, that's crazy.
They like losing. That's the problem. It's
Oh,
almost
they
it's
love
becoming their
losing.
fetish. It's a
They
weird. It's a
love
weird.
it.
No, you're right about that. I mean, first of all, I don't want my country run like a business anyway, because business is by design or for profit, and you certainly don't want your government to be run that way. But to your point, you would pick the worst possible one as your representative of a business. It's that guy.
Yeah,
It's just a joke. My
yeah.
gosh.
It's like why I mean that's like choosing I don't know the CEO of what was that, Enron,
Yeah,
to to be the head of the country. Like you don't want somebody who's that crooked. And the other problem is that they're electing this criminal, and all the other criminals in the whole country are going to go, hey, I hadn't thought about that for getting off of all the things that I've done. Maybe I should run for office. It's insane. Like why are they choosing a criminal? I don't know what's wrong
well,
with
it's
them.
be
Something
well
serious wrong with them.
the psychology behind that is that it's irrelevant what he is to them. He makes it easy. He makes it possible for them to be their racist, bigoted, transphobic, homophobic selves because that's who he is. He doesn't respect women, doesn't respect the BIPOC community, doesn't respect human rights, cares about himself and himself alone. And he thinks by cozying up to these people, these billionaires, that will give him more cred, and he can continue to lie to his base over and over and over again. Doesn't matter.
He just
They're
wants the
so gullible.
power.
Yep, that's
And
exactly it.
and and the criminal wants access to our taxpayer money. That's what really bothers me. Like I don't
Yep,
want somebody that poor at managing money being in charge of our money at
I
all.
agree. I agree. Yeah, I mean, I think we spent a lot of time talking about fascism last week, and we're going to do that again because I just think it's really important. When you when you have every box checked, when you go through the list of the Republican Party today in America and MAC in particular, you can talk
Mhm.
about corporate power being protected, which is exactly what we saw on display in Mar-a-Lago over the weekend when he invites the billionaire class to give money to his campaign, and then to make them happy, he says, I'm going to give you more tax cuts because you guys are rich. That would be corporate power being protected. That is a tenet of fascism. By the
Yeah,
converse, it's labor power being suppressed.
yeah,
He's a union
absolutely.
buster. So
Absolutely. And it's like the problem is that we really have this whole right-wing media system that is not telling them the truth. And no matter how often they've been sued for disinformation and lost, and lost a lot of money, they just keep doing it. Like they
mhm,
just keep buying the side, the media side that is actually lying to them.
you're right. Appreciate
Yeah.
you, Poe. Thanks for jumping in tonight, friend. It's always good to
Yeah,
see you.
thanks for having me.
You got it. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. I got you. Will Straight 9196. You have a lot to say. It's easy to say it from the comment section, though, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay, so one of the things that I don't think is getting enough attention is about the financial conditions and positions of both the Republican National Committee and the DNC, the Democratic National Committee. We know that Joe Biden is raising money like hand over fist, like record amounts of money, and we know that the RNC is paying Trump's legal bills. Um, they are broke. They can't run state elections. That means you can't win state elections. And now that we know that abortion is on the ballot and legalization of marijuana is on the ballot in Florida, that means that Republicans are going to have to defend Florida. And the last thing you need in an election where you have to go after swing voters and swing states and you need to bring more people in when you don't have any money, the last thing you want to have to do is defend your home turf, as they say. And that's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. I know, Anthony, you and I have talked about the money side of it, and there's lots of pieces to it. The Biden team is the overwhelming majority of donors are the small dollar donors, less than $200 per. Overwhelming. Conversely, the overwhelming majority of donors on the Trump side are corporations and billionaires. Citizens United, for example. It's a disgusting display. It is another tenet of fascism, and it's another example of why this election is incredibly important. And it's not just about Democrat versus Republican. It's literally saving our democracy from these people. Um, I wanted to bring up something else because I was in a live over the weekend, and I think people have forgotten about the elements of the Mar-a-Lago case because it's been pushed down the road and pushed down the road and pushed down the road. So I thought for just a moment, I'm going to see if I can find it. I thought what we should do is just talk a little bit about what that case is about, because I feel like people have sort of forgotten, the nuances within that case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up a section. I just want to kind of go through it. Where did I put it? I have a lot of tabs open because that's what happens when you hold on. Where is it? There we go. This is on page 21. Please like and share the live, guys. I would really appreciate that. So this is on page 21 because a lot of people continue to say, and I want to go back and revisit this a little bit because I think it's really, really important. A lot of people on the right, Trump supporters in particular, are still claiming that there was no obstruction of justice and that Trump was unaware that he had any documents remaining. And when he directed his attorneys to sign the attestation statement claiming that there were only 15 boxes, that was legit. All right, again, this is the superseding indictment. This is page 21. The defendant's concealment of boxes, paragraph 53. Just bear with me for a couple minutes. On May 11th, 2022, the grand jury issued a subpoena to the office of Donald J. Trump requiring the production of all documents with classification markings in the possession, custody, or control of Trump or the office of Donald J. Trump. Two attorneys representing Trump, Attorney 1 and Attorney 2, which we believe are Evan Corcoran and Elena Haba, or Christina Dodd, or I forget her name. Anyway, two attorneys representing Trump informed Trump of the May 11th subpoena, and he authorized Trump Attorney 1 to accept service. On May 22nd, 11 days later, Nauta, this is Walt Nauta, co-defendant, entered the storage room at 3:47 p.m. and left approximately 34 minutes later carrying one of Trump's boxes. On May 23rd, 2022, a day later, Trump met with Attorney 1 and Trump Attorney 2 at the Mar-a-Lago Club to discuss the response to discuss the response to the May 11 subpoena. Trump Attorney 1 and Trump Attorney 2 told Trump that they needed to search for documents that would be responsive to the subpoena and provide a certification that there had been compliance with the subpoena. Trump, in sum and substance, made the following statements, among others, as memorialized by Trump Attorney 1. Quote, I don't want anybody looking. I don't want anybody looking through my boxes. I really don't. I don't want you looking through my boxes. Well, what if we just don't respond at all or don't play ball with them? Wouldn't it be better if we just told them we don't have anything here? Well, look, isn't it better if there are no documents? While meeting with Trump Attorney 1 and Trump Attorney 2 on May 23rd, Trump in sum and substance told the following story as memorialized by Trump Attorney 1. He was referencing an attorney. The attorney, he was great. He did a great job. You know what? He said that it was him, that he was the one who deleted all of her emails, Hillary's emails, the 30,000 emails, because they basically dealt with her scheduling and her going to the gym and her having beauty appointments. And he was great. And so she didn't get in any trouble because he said that he was the one who deleted them. On May 23rd, Trump also confirmed his understanding with Trump Attorney 1 that Trump Attorney 1 would return to the Mar-a-Lago Club on June 2nd to search for any documents of classification markings to produce in response to the May 11 subpoena. Trump Attorney 1 made it clear to Trump that the Attorney 1 would conduct the search for responsive documents by looking through Trump's boxes that had been transported from the White House and remained in storage at the Mar-a-Lago Club. Trump indicated that he wanted to be at the Mar-a-Lago Club when Trump Attorney 1 returned to review his boxes on June 2nd, and that Trump would change his summer travel plans to do so. Trump told Attorney 2 that Trump Attorney 2 did not need to be present for the review of the boxes. After meeting with Trump Attorney 1 and Trump Attorney 2 on May 23rd, Trump delayed his departure from the Mar-a-Lago Club to the Bedminster Club in New Jersey for the summer so that he would be present at the Mar-a-Lago Club on June 2nd when Trump Attorney 1 returned to review the boxes. It goes on. On May 24th, between 5:30 and 5:38, Nauta removed 3 boxes from the storage room. On May 30th at 9:08, Trump and Nauta spoke by phone for approximately 30 seconds. Between 10:02 and 11:51 a.m., Nauta removed a total of 50 boxes from the storage room. On June 1st, beginning at 12:52, Nauta removed approximately 11 boxes from the storage room. On June 1st, 2022, Trump spoke with Attorney 1 by phone and asked whether Trump Attorney 1 was coming to the club the next day and for exactly what purpose. Trump Attorney 1 reminded him that Trump Attorney 1 was going to review the boxes that had been transported from the White House and remained in storage at the Mar-a-Lago Club, so that Trump Attorney 1 could be a custodian of record and certify that May 11 subpoena had been complied with fully. On June 2nd, the day Trump Attorney 1 was scheduled to review the boxes in the storage room, Trump spoke with Nauta on the phone at 9:29 a.m. for approximately 24 seconds. Later that day, between 12:23 and 12:52, Nauta and Carlos de Oliveira moved approximately 30 boxes from Trump's residence to the storage room. In sum, between May 23, 2022 and June 2nd, before Attorney 1's review of Trump's boxes in the storage room, Nauta, at Trump's direction, moved approximately 64 boxes from the storage room to Trump's residence, and Nauta and de Oliveira brought to the storage room back only 30 boxes. Neither Trump nor Nauta informed Attorney 1 of this information. So, the reason that it's so important for us to talk about that, hang on, is because we know our friends on the right have not read it. That is blatant and obvious and by the book obstruction of justice. The reason that this case has gotten sort of pushed down the road is because the judge in this case, Eileen Cannon, we all know her name, has done everything she can up toes to the line of judicial incompetence. I don't know what the term is. I don't know all the specifics around it. But everything she has done has favored Trump in this case. Because when that case goes to trial, when, not if, when that case goes to trial, he will be found guilty of obstruction of justice and willful retention of national defense information, which is violation of the Espionage Act. Because the documents that they found that were there after we just went through the obstruction of justice piece was NDI information. It's textbook. Textbook. And I just think it's important that we do not let this case go too far down the road without talking about it, because we know our friends on the right are still in denial over it. Still in denial. Monday, he goes on trial. He'll be the first former president in U.S. history to be charged, first of all, to be charged, but to go on trial for a criminal offense. And that comes up Monday. And he will be convicted in that case as well. So, MAGA, as you usher in fascism, you will vote for this guy. You'll vote for him. It's pretty pitiful. Pretty pitiful. But that's who you are. We know it. That's exactly who you are. So, folks, I'll take a little pivot here just to ask you guys if you wouldn't mind just liking and sharing the live. Maybe spam some fun things in the chat, like FJB, say open borders but spell it wrong, things like that. See if we can get our friends on the right over here. I also want to bring up a couple of lives that we're going to be hosting over the next couple of weeks. Coming up on Wednesday of this week, I have a couple of special guests on the panel, and we'll be talking about conflict resolution. The elements specifically as it relates to today's political world, whether or not you have family or friends that are in opposition to you, whether they be on the right or on the left, has that divided and or broken your family? I think it's really, really important that we have these conversations. I've made it clear. I'm fortunate that I've not lost family members over this. I have lost a friend over this, but I think that relationship was on its way out anyway before all this. But we're gonna be diving into that. We're gonna unpack a lot. So we'll have a couple of special guests, and then coming up on Friday this week, we'll be doing the "Are You Okay" segment again, and I'll be joined by a mutual on this app, Amy, who is a licensed mental health expert. She will just be here for advice, not to provide therapy, not to provide any specific directions, just to be a sounding board. And I want to encourage people to come back for that live. It was really powerful the two times that we've done it. And then next Friday night, we'll be back to Facts After Dark. So every Friday we'll alternate. Are You Okay? Facts After Dark, and things like that. And then I had a whole bunch of folks make some amazing suggestions about some other lives that we might do. Healthcare being one. There was a suggestion made about doing a series of lives unpacking each tenet of fascism as we kind of go through. I think that's going to be a really powerful approach to this kind of thing. So those are the things that are coming up, and I want to continue to thank everybody for the support, and we're trying to do the work. We appreciate all of you, and we always appreciate the support. Hi, JD.
Hey, um, I just wanted to let you know people down there are asking what to define fascism. And
Define it.
and another little side note I was going to say is because when I came in, you were talking about the E. Jean Carroll thing and the one person. I actually worked with someone who said if a person is not penetrated, they've not been essayed.
Hmm.
And I was
Wow.
saying that about children.
Yeah. Well, sadly, if that's what they think, then there's no help for that person.
Yeah. And they were saying it in a conversation with three people who were admitting they had been. And we explained it to her how she was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to use me as the trumper to explain fascism and how Donny Boy is one, if you want to do the tenets or.
Yeah, we can get into that. I mean, so basically, I mean, fascism. So there's the textbook definition, which is a far right political philosophy and or movement or regime that exalts nation and often race above the individual. So it's a far right ideology, and we've talked
Mhm.
about the tenets. It involves ultra nationalism, and there's a difference between nationalism and patriotism, and you know. Corporate power being prioritized, labor power being suppressed. It prioritizes the supremacy of the military. It attacks and scapegoats. I have the list. I can pull it up.
Yeah.
It's a scary. It's the problem is that people who don't understand it, they'll take the word as if it's a um, another how do I put it? Another example of how they want to manipulate what they think are left leaning ideologies when it's far right without question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the list is powerful and continuing nationalism, disregard for human rights, identification of enemies as a unifying cause, whether it be racial, ethnic, or religious or minorities, liberals, communists, socialists, terrorists, supremacy of the military, widespread sexism. The government tends to be almost exclusively male dominated. Traditional gender roles are made more rigid. Divorce, abortion, and homosexuality are suppressed. Those are just a few. I don't know if that answers the question that was
It
asked, but
probably.
yeah,
I was trying to type to someone who's trying to say Antifa's fascist.
right. Yeah, well, but thank you, JD,
Sure.
for always jumping in and trying to, and please, please, we thank you in advance for what you do and also for all your support going forward. Appreciate that.
Sure thing. Thanks for having me up.
You got it. See you later.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Please continue to do what you do. G. DeLuca, how are you tonight?
Well, thank you. How about yourself?
Fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
Well, um, I'm sorry, I'm adjusting my phone here so I can hear you better.
Okay.
I think it bothers me when I come across lives like yours and I see that swastika flag trying to paint a broad brush that if you're conservative or if you lean conservative, you are now considered, I guess, I don't even know what to call it anymore. I don't know what you can and can't
Does
say
that
on.
say conservative?
No, but you're lumping if you support Donald Trump.
Yeah. If you support Donald Trump, you're a fascist.
Well, have you ever stopped to think that what's happening is a total rebuke on Joe Biden, and whether you like it or not, Donald Trump, or for that matter, I guess you could vote for RFK Jr. Um,
Well, what do you
is
mean
is
when you
our
say what's the rebuke though? What's the rebuke on Joe Biden?
his policies have, you know, they've put our country in a whole different, in my opinion, and many other opinion. If you look at the polls, they've put he's put our country in a horrible position.
How?
Well, I mean, let's start with the border. There
Okay.
is
What about it?
there is a border crisis.
So what is it? What is it? What is a border crisis? Tell me what that means to you.
Well, the free flow of migrants, where before the border was Texas and Arizona, now virtually every state in the continental USA is a border, and we have this mass influx of people coming up, and I'm look, and I need to make this clear. My mother and father, they were migrants. They came to this country in January of 1970. I was born January of 71. So
Okay.
I understand what's going on. Maybe it's a little different today versus when my mother and father came across. Uh, they didn't come across the southern border. They came from Europe. However, they went through the legal channels. They
Okay.
didn't
So
come here and
what are the legal channels, DeLuca?
well, they didn't step on American soil and all them and just shout out asylum.
Okay,
Uh,
that is the legal channel though.
well, but 87% of so-called asylum seekers don't actually qualify for asylum.
Actually, it's higher than that. But again, but you can still make the claim. That's in our constitution. You can make the claim, and you only have to be on U.S. soil to make that claim.
And then the catch and
Hold on,
release.
hold on. Let's not pivot. Let's not move
Sure,
past that.
sure.
So let's not move past that. So you understand that our constitution then states that you only have to put a foot on U.S. soil to claim asylum.
Yes, but it's my understanding that when you claim asylum, for example, if you're Venezuelan and you're claiming asylum, well, you claim asylum in the next adjacent country. You don't
So
skip.
okay, so it's your under. So hold on, it's your understanding. So when you say it's your understanding, where did you get that from so that it could be your understanding?
Um, I don't know if I read it or if I saw it somewhere in a story somewhere.
Okay, so let's be real and be sincere. So
Sure.
what you're being told is bullshit. Okay, because think about this: how could you make an asylum claim in the United States when you're in Mexico?
I don't understand that question. My scenario was an immigrant coming from Venezuela to the
Right,
United States.
right. Hold on, Anthony, I got you. Right, okay. So an immigrant from Venezuela comes into Mexico, and they make an asylum claim in Mexico. Is what you're saying?
No, they bypass Mexico and then make their asylum claim on U.S. soil.
How would they bypass Mexico?
Well, they traverse it. Rather than seeking asylum in Mexico, they seek asylum in the United States.
Because they don't want to seek asylum in Mexico. They want to seek asylum in the United States.
Okay, and this is where excuse me, Trump's policy where
Hold on. We're not moving to Trump's policy. Hold on. So again, you can't make an asylum if you want to stay in Mexico, then that's where you want to stay. But these people are coming to the United States. So to make an asylum claim in the United States, you only have to put a foot, a toe, a
I
fingernail,
understand.
an eyelash
I
on
understand.
US soil.
I
So then making, hold on, because you said the legal way. That is the legal way,
Okay, then they go to court, and
right?
more times than not, they're sent back because they actually don't qualify, and they know it. We know it.
They don't know it. That's what the process is. They're
Sure, no,
going
they
through
do.
the
No,
step.
they do know it.
No, no, they don't. That's what the hearings are for. Again, do you as if you were coming to our country from another country, all right, and you cross the border in Arizona or Mexico or wherever it might be, do you have a right to make an asylum claim? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what these folks are doing. That's legal. What's your issue?
My issue is that it's the catch and release policy. Uh, why not have them remain? We had an agreement with Mexico where they could
No, we
remain
didn't.
in Mexico.
No, we didn't. It
No,
was
we
for
did.
COVID.
We did.
It was for COVID, man.
Doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. It was
No,
ruled
no.
unconstitutional. Excuse me. It was ruled unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. You know that, right?
Facts. You might want to look your facts up. What the Supreme Court said, and I looked this up.
Okay.
The Supreme Court said is
Hmm.
Biden. If you want to end it, you can end it.
So, okay, so you can cite that example, right?
Yeah,
So do you know what Title 42 is? What's Title 42? You know what it
yeah.
is?
That's exactly what it was.
What is it?
I don't. Well, I can look it up right here. Give me one
Go for it.
second.
Go for it. You tell us since you're the fact guy, you tell us what Title 42 was, and then you tell us what the Supreme Court ruled in regard to the Remain in Mexico policy. Go for it. We can wait.
Oh, okay.
Do you think an executive order supersedes American law?
No,
Thank you. Appreciate that.
not at all. I mean, yeah, I completely agree with you. No, it doesn't. But it's been shown, especially going back to, I think Obama really ramped up executive orders.
Well, so you're pivoting away. Are you going to look it up or not?
No, I'm looking for it. I've got several things. I'm looking for the actual one. Give me
I
a
can
break.
guarantee you Anthony can find it faster than you can.
Okay, that's fine. I
So I
really
guess
didn't.
the funny thing about this is that you think that immigrants from Honduras or Guatemala or Venezuela should just stay in Mexico?
If they're seeking asylum in the United States, yes, there was a
Oh, so then Mexico is going to be okay with that?
there was a policy. It was
Yeah, and Title
stay in Mexico.
why was Title 42 enacted, DeLuca? Why did we have Title 42?
Part of it had to do with COVID.
Yeah, it had to do with COVID.
Yeah.
Exactly. Public health emergency, right? And then
Yep.
the public health emergency ended, and therefore it could no longer remain in effect. What
No,
is our
that's not
current?
true. That's not true, facts.
It's absolutely true, man.
No facts. What
Okay.
Biden's administration, what they did was they went to the Supreme Court to end it.
Hmm.
And Supreme Court said, yes, you can end it if you want.
Right. Because it's no longer, you can't tell people that don't want to be in Mexico to stay in Mexico. Mexico themselves said, no. Nope.
No, that's not what Mexico
Oh,
said.
what did they say?
This was Biden unraveling. This was Biden unraveling everything that Trump had done as a
Right.
show of whatever in his first 9 days
Hmm.
when he became president.
Hmm.
Now, you're the one that's got the title "Facts Still Matter," and I'm
Yep.
hoping that you would be a little bit more accurate when you say
Oh.
that it was deemed unconstitutional, because
Oh.
it was not deemed unconstitutional. And
Okay.
and you've got 740 people in this live chat room that are listening, that are hanging on what you tell them.
Let's see. Judge Emmett Sullivan of the U.S. District Court in Washington, D.C. agreed, ruling last November that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention use of Title 42 is arbitrary and capricious and is a violation of the law because it was not implemented properly. That's one.
No, no.
Should I? Nope.
Why don't you
I'm
read?
not
Why don't
done.
you read?
I'm not done. I'm not done.
Read.
I'm not done.
Read.
I'm not done. A federal
Jesus.
court today struck down Title 42, which was used by the federal government to expel asylum seekers. The ruling applies to families and single adults. The ACLU, Center for Gender and Refugee Studies, Oxfam, America Racist, Texas Civil Rights Project, and ACLU of Texas, and the ACLU of the District of Columbia first sued the Trump administration over Title 42 expulsions in 2020. After hinting an impasse and negotiating with the Biden administration, the groups went back to court in July 2021 to seek an immediate termination of the policy. They successfully argued that Title 42 restricted immigration at the border based on an unprecedented and unlawful invocation of public health. The policy was first implemented during the Trump administration in violation of longstanding immigration statutes requiring that asylum seekers receive a full and fair proceeding to determine their right to protection in the United States. Should I continue, or is that enough dog walking?
Why don't you read what the Supreme Court said? It doesn't matter what the appellate court or what
So I'm doing your homework for you? Is that what
No,
it is?
no, no,
I'll
no,
send you
no.
a bill.
What you're doing, look, Biden filed suit and he got a ruling. Then they appealed it and he got a ruling. Then it went to the Supreme Court, and that's where the rubber hits the road.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, really.
Cool. Let's see. Court dismisses Title 42 case. Let's see. The Title 42 refers to a federal law that gives the CDC and Centers for Disease Control and Prevention the power to bar the entry of individuals in the U.S. to protect the public from contagious diseases, even if those individuals otherwise would be eligible to apply for asylum or other forms of humanitarian relief. In April of last year, the Biden administration announced its plan to end the policy, saying it was no longer necessary to protect public health. But in a lawsuit filed by migrant families in D.C., District Judge Emmett Sullivan ruled that the policy itself is illegal and ordered the government to end it. A group of 19 states with Republican attorneys general then tried to intervene in the case, hoping to defend the lawfulness of the policy and reverse Sullivan's decision. When the U.S. Court of Appeals and the D.C. Circuit Court declined to allow the states to join the case, the states came to the Supreme Court with an emergency appeal asking the justices to keep the policy in place. By a 5-4 vote, the justices granted that request and agreed to hear the case. Less than 2 weeks before the oral arguments in the case, however, the justices took the case off their oral argument calendar, presumably because the COVID-19 public health emergency, and therefore Title 42 was slated to expire in May of that year. There you go.
There you
Policy, yeah, I just debunked you, bro.
go. No, you didn't, bro.
Oh my God.
No.
Are you kidding me?
You didn't. It was not deemed unconstitutional.
The U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia declined to allow the states to join the case. The states came to the Supreme Court with an emergency appeal asking the justices to keep the policy in place. By a 5-4 vote, the justices granted that request and agreed to hear the case. Procedural dispute on an expedited basis. Less than 2 weeks before the oral arguments in the case, however, the justices took the case off their oral argument calendar, presumably because COVID public health emergency and therefore Title 42 was slated to expire on May 11th, which means the policy was going to go away. Therefore, there was no reason to keep it in place. So they lost.
No, facts. You said it was deemed unconstitutional.
It was.
So man.
Go ahead, Anthony. It was.
Okay, let me. I'm not. What's your first name?
We'll call him Carl for this conversation.
All right, Carl. So, what happens in a court case when the Supreme Court refuses to hear oral arguments is the court that ruled before it,
right,
that ruling stands. That ruling was that Title 42 and the executive order was unconstitutional. If you read the opinions of the Supreme Court justices, they also talk about how while it is important in certain emergencies to have certain things put in place, you also have to be very careful about the structure and the freedoms that are already in existence, meaning Title 41 did not pay attention to how Title 8 was written and how asylum is to be sought. So the emergency powers for COVID was said to be okay, but the manner in which Title 42 was constructed via the executive order was found to be unconstitutional.
Correct. Which means, Carl, that if Joe Biden wanted to keep Title 42 in place, it was
He
not
could
going
not.
to be allowed. Exactly. Do you
Okay,
understand?
I understand, but Biden pulled it.
No,
No, it was going to expire. I
May
just
11th.
read it to you.
it would have
Yeah, May 11th.
expired and the circuit court ruled it unconstitutional, so it would have just naturally expired. It didn't even have to be taken away, especially once the Supreme Court removed the oral arguments, meaning the Supreme Court was like, this is a waste of time because it's just simply going to expire. We'll allow the Second Circuit Court ruling to stand. That's it. It's over
Okay.
because it's going to expire.
So if your argument is that Biden could have kept Title 42 in place, is that your argument?
We could have renegotiated it.
No.
That's not the question. Please answer the question, Carl. Is it your argument that Joe Biden could have just kept Title 42 in place?
He could have kept it in place until it expired.
He did.
No, he
It
didn't.
expired. It expired. Again,
He could have negotiated.
no, because it was
you
public
can't
health
negotiate.
specifically. Exactly.
Which branch of the government writes laws? Because I'm fairly certain it's not the executive branch.
No, it's not. It's the Senate.
Okay, so the president
I'm sorry,
has no
say that again?
negotiating
Wait.
power.
Which branch of the government writes the laws?
Senate, Congress,
What are the three branches of government, Carl?
executive. Are you asking me? I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm asking you. What are the three branches
Because
of
Carl's
government?
not my real name, so I'm not paying attention.
It's okay. What are the three branches of government?
The judicial, executive, and the legislative.
Okay, thank you. Whew. It's the legislative branch that writes the laws,
Right,
not the
right.
Senate is a part of the legislative
Sure.
branch. Okay, so what I don't think you understand here is that Title 42 was put in place because of COVID. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Okay, and COVID was considered a public health emergency. Can we agree on that?
Yes. However,
Wait. Hold on. Wait. Okay. Wait. So Title 42 had a shelf life based on the fact that COVID was no longer considered a public health emergency. Therefore, any attempts to keep Title 42 in place because there was no public health emergency would be unconstitutional.
if you say so.
No, here's what a fact looks and tastes like whilst you're busy shoveling stuff into your mouth.
Well, no. This is, see,
By April,
I'm
wait your turn. Wait your turn. Hey, you don't. Do I come to your house and put my feet up on your furniture?
sir.
Then wait
You
your
know what?
turn.
You
Wait your
talk-
turn.
you talk all
Wait your
over.
turn.
I mean, that's the
Wait
problem with these live
your
chats.
turn.
Carl, take it.
You know,
Wait
a
your
little
turn,
bit of power-
Carl.
A little bit of power goes to your head. You have
Take it.
the power to push that mute button and the
Yes,
block button.
I also have the power
goes-
to
and
kick
it-
you off a panel, but I don't do that.
Exactly. No, but you just talk over people, and you don't.
It's
let me
not
go
your
to-
turn. I was not done speaking.
Let him
I was
finish.
micromanaged by Facts Matter.
Oh my God! I was you're not an employee. You're not being micromanaged. This is
No.
our live. We have rules.
Then you know what? You guys have one big echo chamber. That's what you have.
Really? It's an echo chamber?
Yes.
Shall we?
Yes.
Oh.
You don't care about how people really feel. You
No.
don't care about the other side. You don't care about winning people over. You care about humiliating.
There's no winning you over. We presented facts. Here's a fact for you. But in April 2022, the agency, the CDC, said there was no public health basis to continue expelling migrants and announced the policy's termination because the CDC had the power to terminate. It's not Biden.
You're right. And here's another thing, Carl.
Fuck.
The bill that was introduced in the Senate by Oklahoma Senator James Lankford, who is probably the most conservative senator there is, was the most restrictive border bill that you would see that was ever introduced in American history. Everything the Republicans wanted: more detention centers, more enforcement at the border, literally giving the president power through legislation and law to close the border when there were certain volumes attempted to cross. And what happened to that bill, Carl? Do you know? What happened to
I'm
that bill?
sorry, you're asking me?
Yeah.
Okay. What happened is when they had an opportunity to actually read the bill, it died. It was dead on arrival because basically what it did, it codified everything that Biden was doing today.
No, it
Plain
didn't.
and simple. It
No, it
did.
didn't. No, it did not. No, it did not.
It did. How much money in that bill? How much money actually went to help finance these extra security officers? No, very little. Very little.
Let me ask you again. Why did the bill not get voted on in the House? Why?
You can't blame this on Trump.
He said it. Don't
No.
pass that bill because then I won't be able to run on it.
No, he says a bad bill, and it was a bad bill.
Why? You know why? You know why he said it was a bad bill, Carl? Because then he couldn't run on it.
Well, let's talk about. You want to talk about the bill? Let's talk about the bill.
Sure. Have you read it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, have you? How many pages?
I don't know off the top of my head. I have my notes here, just like how you have your notes.
Cool.
And I'd be happy to go
Sure,
over
and I'll
my
let you do
notes.
that. But I want to make sure that you understand that you have this belief that the president can just shut down the border whenever he wants, and he can't.
This is what I know, is that Donald Trump, through executive fiat, was able to contain the border pretty darn good. With the existing laws that we have in the books. Then
What's
comes
the
Joe
law that
Biden.
governs our border?
Please?
What's the law that governs our border?
I don't know.
The INA. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Anthony.
The INA, written in 1952, specifically when it comes to asylum, that is Title 8, Section 1158, asylum.
Do you want a doggy treat now? Anthony? Would you like a doggy treat?
You know what's funny is you actually think you can get to me.
No. See, because it's like the Ren and Stimpy show between you two. You're sitting there looking up. You have a computer in front of you. You're able to look up as he's asking me questions. You're able to do his side work.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's like the Ren and Stimpy show here.
I actually have all this information in my head. The only stuff I look up is when somebody comes up and makes a specious claim, and then I look it up to see how specious and bullshit it is. So far, you haven't made one. You've just gotten some things wrong.
Let me ask you a question, Anthony.
Sure, go ahead, ask me a question.
Are we ready to admit that Ashley Biden's diary is real now?
I can take that. Ashley Biden's diary is real, but the fact that you actually think that there's something salacious in there shows us that you're in the cult, DeLuca.
No. Hey, there was pages published clearly with her writing saying those things.
Where were they published? So
That's
then,
okay.
okay. So then you can. So nice pivot, by the way. So you can provide that because you said it was published.
It's all over the media.
Oh, which media? Give us a source. We'll look it up.
I'm going to look it up right now. You can hear me typing.
TikTok. Look in TikTok.
Oh,
that's not
TikTok.
A source.
Why not? Apparently, it's a good enough source for your 942 people that are in this live
Well,
room.
they come here because Anthony and I are devil.
Yeah, you guys are supposed to be providing facts.
We are.
Yeah, so
You're the one that made the
Use
claim.
TikTok as a source.
You're the one that made the claim, DeLuca.
E. Jean Carroll. And let me ask you a question about the E. Jean Carroll case, since you
Bro,
guys are so knowledgeable.
You pivot more than an NBA.
No, it's because you guys got more lines than an
Excuse me,
Etch-a-Sketch.
DeLuca.
You remember those Etch-a-Sketches? That's what
Excuse me.
That's what you are.
DeLuca, excuse me.
I will say you've been a little bit more polite than the other fellow.
You pivot more than an NBA point guard, bro. So let's
Well,
stay on one topic. We haven't finished the border yet. Are you done with the border since we sufficiently dog walked you on that? Are you done with that? Would you like to move
whatever
something
you want to
else?
discuss it, we can continue to discuss it. I'll go
Well, I don't know what
whatever you
else there
like to
is to
do.
discuss. You honestly believe that Title 42 could just Joe Biden could just wave a magic wand and all of a sudden Title 42 can be
Look,
enacted
Joe
again? And
Biden inherited the longest rate of immigration in 45 years. You understand that? The lowest rate of immigration in 45 years, Joe Biden inherited it. And within 3.5 years, he's allowed more people into the United States
gee,
than it took Ellis
let's
Island
think
over
about that.
60 years.
Let's
60
think about that.
years.
So you can provide that sources, right?
Yeah,
Made a
look
claim.
up Ellis Island. How many people
Bro,
came
it's
for
not
Ellis
you. See,
Island?
this is how this works. Let me explain this. Let me explain this to you. I'll talk slowly and really, really calmly. When a person makes a claim, the burden of proof is on the person who makes it. So you made a claim. Are you prepared to back that up? Yes or no? Because,
Sure.
like, okay, so because otherwise you just expect Anthony and I to believe you? I saw you steal a Chevy truck yesterday.
Okay.
Yep. You believe me, right?
If you say so.
Oh, so you're just going to take my word for it?
Sure.
Cool. Let's call the cops. Hey, I just saw DeLuca steal a Chevy truck. Go arrest him.
Go
Sweet.
ahead.
You think
Cops
they're going to believe?
investigate.
You think they're going to believe
Investigate.
that? Do you think they're going to believe that?
So are you disputing that over 11.5 million migrants have come across in the last 3.5 years?
Nope. Not disputing that.
Okay. And then are you disputing that 12 million migrants came across Ellis Island in 60 years?
I don't have that number in front of me.
Well, that's what it is.
Okay, so again, you want us to take your word for it.
We-
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about that, DeLuca.
What do you
Since
mean, take your
my
word for it?
family literally came through Ellis Island. That was what 100 years ago. What
Okay.
is your problem with brown people?
Nothing whatsoever.
Really?
But
Really?
it's obvious when you're coming here.
Oh.
Number one, the catch and release. We don't know who they're releasing, what their backgrounds are.
Oh,
We actually do.
No, we
You
don't.
you need to
We take
actually
their word on it.
understand what Border Patrol does
yeah.
and what it does not do.
Sir.
My name's
They
Anthony.
take
Just
their
go
word-
ahead and call me Anthony. It's not
They-
that
they
hard to
take-
figure out. It's right there in my username.
They take their word on what they're trying to do. But once they're investigated, a lot of times, if we found out, they don't qualify for asylum.
After they go through their court hearings, which is a legal proceeding.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
But they know the buzzwords. They know.
So you probably
exactly
think
what to say.
that immigrants commit more crime. Is what you're trying to say, right?
No, I'm saying if one crime is too many,
Oh, right. I would agree.
especially
So-
when it takes someone's life,
Oh.
or they essay as child
right
on multiple
right.
occasions.
And who are the main perpetrators of SA of children?
I don't know.
White men.
White Christian American males between the ages of 18 and 34.
Correct.
Okay, so that means everyone else should get a pass.
Did you know that the persons who have the lowest rate of any type of law enforcement interaction post being allowed to be an immigrant to the United States of America is the entire immigrant community? On average, it's statistically so much less than white born American citizens that it's actually hilarious that people like you keep thinking that the people that are coming here are criminals. Let me ask you a question. Are you aware what we have done for the last 141 years around the world?
In what aspect?
Specifically in upending other people's governments, stealing their natural resources, throwing governments into turmoil, starting wars in areas we had no business in. This is why there is such a large immigration from Central America, because we caused the political upheaval. This is our fault. Not to mention the fact that we haven't actually corrected the INA, updated the INA, done anything to help immigration since 1952. We're pretty pathetic at updating laws here.
Are you familiar, DeLuca, with what happened in Venezuela under the Trump administration?
No.
Okay, interesting. We actually over oil. We basically led a coup, which destabilized their entire country because we bought 50% of the Venezuelan revenue comes from oil, and we bought almost 80% of their oil. Which means when Donald Trump said we're going to stop buying your oil as a little hissy fit, that completely destabilized their entire country. And then within a year of that, this happened in 2018, and within a year of that, massive immigration to the U.S. border. And guess what nationality those folks were? I'll give you a hint. Venezuelan. Do you think that's a coincidence?
Look, then abolish the three-letter
Do you
agency.
think that's a coincidence?
Abolish the three-letter agency.
Oh, so
If
the
that,
three-letter
you know,
agencies now. So I
well,
have another question for you. I have one more question for you. You talked about protecting the children, right? Because I'm sure that's important to you.
yeah, it should be to everyone.
So you cool with Donald Trump walking into dressing rooms of teenage girls? Simple question. Are you cool with Donald Trump having sexual fantasies about his daughter? You cool with that? Are you cool with Donald Trump saying that
How
identifying a
how can you sit there?
excuse me,
I'm gonna
excuse
no
me,
no
excuse me, I'm
you're making
talking.
an
Excuse me, don't
accusation that
interrupt.
you can't back up.
Excuse me. Are you cool? Are you cool with Donald Trump seeing the daughter of one of his employees at Mar-a-Lago who is 10 years old going up an escalator saying, how old is she? 10. I'll be dating you in 10 years. Bragging about grabbing women by the genitals. Are you okay with that?
Are you okay with Joe Biden taking showers with his
Here we
daughter?
go. Carl, let's start from scratch. What'd you
Are
have for
you
dinner?
okay with Joe Biden?
Let's start
Excuse
over.
me.
Let's start
Excuse
over.
me.
Let's start
Excuse
over.
me.
Let's
Excuse
start
me.
over. Let's
Excuse
start
me.
over, DeLuca.
Excuse me. I'm
Let's
gonna use
start
your one of
over,
your lines.
DeLuca.
Excuse me. Are you
Let's
okay
start
with
over,
Joe?
DeLuca. Let's start over. Let's start over. Okay. Let's start over.
Where she
Are
have
you? Excuse me.
to take a shower?
Excuse me,
Are you
DeLuca.
okay with that?
Don't be a
Excuse me. Are you
douche,
okay with that?
DeLuca.
Are you
Don't be
okay
a
with Joe
douche.
Biden taking showers with his
He
teenage
didn't.
daughter?
He didn't. Are
He did. He
nice
did.
pivot?
It's in,
What'd you have
it
for
was
dinner,
in her
DeLuca?
diary. It's in her
DeLuca, what'd you have for
diary.
dinner? DeLuca,
It
what'd you have for dinner?
traumatized her.
What'd you have for dinner?
Doesn't that appall you?
Shut the fuck up, you piece of shit.
No, doesn't that appall you that he took showers with his daughter?
Get out of here, you piece of shit.
You know what's really funny is what that potato did not know is that I have a day job and it is 4:39 here in Los Angeles. So when he sees me looking around, and for everybody else in the audience, if I'm on mute, I'm listening to the conversation, waiting for a cue to look something up. Other than that, I'm actually doing my fucking job. That guy was an absolute joke. He didn't even understand the basics of how like courts work, right? And then this whole thing, this whole obsession with him and the diary, that's how you know you're in a cult.
Correct. Thank you for indulging us, friends. We had a little dog walking fun there. Yeah, I dropped him because he's a pig. That's why I dropped him. T-Dog, how are you today?
Good. Sorry, I just was trying to hop up. I was gonna say something to DeLuca, but he's gone now. But I was gonna ask him is I was gonna ask him if he knows why Trump's immigration got so much lower than it is now.
Well, we could obviously explain that with COVID and a variety of other reasons, but
Yeah.
he's not going to listen to that because
Yeah.
he's in a cult.
Oh, for
So,
sure.
yeah.
I feel like one of the big things that I don't see covered enough is the way Trump was pressuring Honduras. With
Also,
say,
Also,
yeah,
yeah, that's
'cause
true.
he was saying
Guatemala, I mean,
yeah, he said I'm gonna cut all aid to Honduras if they don't stop through migration through Honduras. And as soon as he was no longer president, all that backlog of people sitting in Honduras, they passed through, and that's who's coming over now.
yeah.
It's not like Trump caused the situation we're in now 100%.
yeah, I mean, let's be real. We've had immigration has been increasing every single president going back to, since the 50s. Every single administration, there's been an increase in immigration. That's just how it works. That's the way the world works. By the way, we have 11 million jobs or 10 million jobs open in our country right now. We need immigrant labor. We absolutely need it. Our
Yep.
country would crumble without it. The problem is people like Carl demonize people because of the color of their skin. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Yep.
Yeah. No, and the crime rates that they always want to bring up, immigrants, both legal and illegal, undocumented, whatever they want to call it,
Yeah, let's
they
not use
commit
illegal.
crimes at 1/30th the rate of natural-born U.S. citizens.
Yeah, it's something like that. I'm not exactly sure the percentage, but it's a ridiculously small number in percentage of comparison. Let's not use the word illegal, please. No humans are illegal.
Yeah, I mostly just that's because that's what they're gonna call them. So I
That's fair.
generally don't think of them that way.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and
No,
also,
it's. Go ahead. I'm
G
sorry.
Town says under Trump, they know they were getting deported. Biden imports at a higher rate than Trump did.
Correct.
Like they just repeat what they hear. But
Correct.
yeah,
That's
thank you
that's
for
fault behavior.
yeah,
You got it.
thank you for
Thanks for
letting me
joining, man.
up. I'll let you
You got it.
go. Keep
Appreciate you.
having the discussion.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Have a good night. Um, yeah. I mean, this is just the game that they will play. They will play it all night if they have to. But we're here
Yeah.
for it. Please continue to like and share, guys. We appreciate you all.
It was fun.
Hi, Stanley. How are you tonight? Stanley M. Stanley. Hey, Stanley, are you there? I guess not. You can request again if you'd like to, Stanley. Um, Actually, that's a reminder. I wanted to bring that back up again because somebody just sent that to me. Let's go back and look at this. One of the tenets of fascism. Where is it? Obsession with crime and punishment. Local police are given almost limitless power to enforce laws. People are often willing to overlook police abuses in the name of patriotism, often a national police force with virtually unlimited power. The elements of obsession with crime and punishment sort of intertwine with national security obsessions and things along those lines. And again, the second tenet of fascism is, hold on, where's my list? Disregard for human rights, identification of enemies as unifying cause. People are rallied into a unifying patriotic frenzy over the need to eliminate a perceived common enemy, whether that be racial, ethnic, or religious, liberal, communist, socialist, or terrorists. Another tenet of fascism. And our friend Carl, is certainly a fascist. Hey, Taryn, how are you?
Doing good, doing good. How you guys doing?
We're doing well, thank you.
Actually, recuperating from sinus surgery this morning.
Oh, dude. Doing all right?
Yeah, they did a little bit of a review. Hold on, turn off some stuff. Did a little review, and it looked like I had a little bit of a blockage. Turned out it was a big blockage. I couldn't even breathe out of my right nostril.
Damn.
Yeah, so they did a sinus surgery, opened that up, and I'm just kind of healing for a week. But
Good.
I love listening to you guys. I was able to get in on time instead of working late.
Well, thank you. We like having you.
How are things going?
Good. Something on your mind?
Yeah. Well, just like the Chad you had up there, DeLuca, he actually blocked me a long time ago because I was posting facts to his page. He hated
Of
it.
course.
But it's getting to be shocking how when the news cycle is coming through, here it comes, and we got to go back almost 8 years of misinformation just to have conversations with these guys. I mean, casual conversation with my dad because he had to pick me up and drop me off. He's a complete conservative red hat. But I really couldn't even have like a passing conversation with him turning complete conspiracy theory and going 8 years back with just a little bit of. I think I just mentioned something about a book I read. Oh yeah, I was reading a book when I was in there. I read this. Well, the books they're putting in the libraries and schools. I was almost like, I mean, where did that even come from? I was talking about an article I read about the moon and the eclipse. It's amazing. But anyway, love you guys. I love what you're doing. I'm going to be listening in, just supporting everything you guys do. I wish I could be one of those subscribers, but I'm still a starving artist at this point.
I hear you, bro. Hang in there. We got you. We appreciate. I appreciate that, though. I feel it. You count. You're in the. You've been supporting for a long time, so I appreciate.
You're the best. You're the best.
Thanks,
I love you guys.
Thanks.
Support down to come. Love you guys.
Feel better. All right. Be well. I think I cannot emphasize enough about how I want to find the other list that I had because it's a much better look at the, oh, and I want to go through it because we can talk about Carl, our previous guest. No offense to the other Carls out there, but that was the name that sort of popped into my head at the time. Um, I need to find this because he was checking every single box of fascism. Every one. We went through it. It was amazing to me that he literally took us through every single one. Where is that document? Is it this one? No. I guess I can use the one I had. The weird part about it, I shouldn't say weird, but the obvious part about it is that I'm starting to believe that that's what they want. I'm starting to believe that they want a dictator. We know that they don't care about. We know that they're racists. We know that they're bigots. We know that they don't give a shit about the BIPOC community, women, the trans community, the LGBTQA community. They don't care about. They don't care about the poor. We know all about that. So it's easy for them to continue to fall in that trap. We know they don't care about liberals. We know they don't care about. They think they're patriots. They're not. They're Christian nationalists. It's pretty disgusting. But again, name calling does not win elections. You're painting with a broad brush. Okay. Well, Raven, if you had enough followers, I'd say come on in and talk, but I really don't care. My brush paints fascists really, really well. If you identify as MAGA, you're a fascist. Plain and simple. You may not like it. Here's some advice. Stop being a fascist. Pretty simple. Wake up in the morning, brush your teeth, have your granola, look in the mirror and say, I'm not going to be a fascist today. Then we can talk. Until then, I don't give a shit. I'm not breaking bread with you. Not going to happen. Thank you, friends. Continue to like and share. Let's see if we can get to 100K. Tap, 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 tap. Good evening, Corey. How are you tonight?
Hi, good evening. Hold on, you guys. Hold on just a second, please. Hold on.
You're right, free hostages. MAGA has made comments about being okay with a dictator. Exactly. You guys are just weak. You need to be led around by your sheep collar. You can't think for yourselves. You need somebody to tell you what to do. That's why you hate liberals so much, because we're free thinkers and we're smarter than you are. Much smarter.
And we're also your daddy.
Merch to the merch store. Get it while it's hot. Corey, are you coming back, bro? Corey going once. Corey going twice. Okay, there you are. You're back. What's on your mind, Corey?
I will be right there. Just let me turn stuff down.
Maybe here's a little advice. If you want to join a live, maybe just have the volume turned down. It's like turn down the radio. Back in the radio days when I used to broadcast, it was like you had to give the person, because people wanted to hear themselves on the radio, but you had to turn the radio down. So, Corey, can you come back, bro? Kind of boring the audience. I could tell a joke, but you wouldn't like that. Corey. All right, bro, I'm going to drop you down and you can come right back up. Please request again. Okay, thank you. All right. Hey, Chip, how are you tonight?
Fine. Facts, Anthony. You're well schooled on what you guys do. If anyone comes up into this box, they better be prepared. So, with that being said, I'm prepared. If you can do this tomorrow night, I'm a Trump supporter. I'm going to ask you and Anthony both to go live. I'm going to bring my charitable givings for 2023, and I want both of you to show your charitable givings to the homeless and to the underprivileged. And we're going to see if you Marxists put your money where your mouth is at. Do you accept that challenge?
What?
I don't write off my charitable contributions because I don't believe I should be rewarded for doing the right thing.
Me
Well, then
neither.
you're a
And some of
phony.
it
You're
is
so phony.
volunteering for
You're a
Veterans
phony.
Court and doing things in the veterans community. And so when I put my hand in my front pocket, I don't ask for receipts. The fact that you're coming here all puffy chested, acting as if taking tax deductions for charitable organizations and charitable givings is an actual flex, bro, you
Well,
need to
you
go
say you don't believe
stay
in God and you
in
don't go to church.
your
Why?
So
lane.
obviously you're not
I
giving there.
don't
You're
deduct
both
Stop
things from
interrupting,
my
fraudulent,
Chip.
taxes.
Marxist,
Stop interrupting,
You
leftist
Chip.
are a
frauds.
Stop
Chad.
interrupting,
You're
Chip.
both are Marxist.
So stop interrupting. If you'd like to have a conversation, Chip, we can have a conversation. But part of what we like to do here is that we only talk to adults. So if you want to be childish and just talk over people and think you're going to debate bro us, because dude, if you think you can out debate myself or Anthony, you will lose like you have never lost before. So if you want to have a debate in good conscience, but the first question I would ask is why is your account private,
No
Chip? So what are you
questions. There's
hiding?
no questions.
What are your what are you what is
No
why is your account
questions.
private,
My
Chip?
question,
Why is your account private,
I
Chip?
posed a question.
Why is your
I
account
posed a
private, Chip?
question to you
Chip,
and you refused to,
Chip,
or will you do
shut
it?
your mouth
Will
and
you
act
come
like it.
tomorrow? I will
I
go
don't.
live with both of
I'm
you
like
and
Anthony. I
see
don't,
if you
dude.
Marxist leftists are really
Oh,
who you say you
why can't
are.
you do it right now? What are you afraid of?
Oh no, I want
Why
you
do
I
you vote for
want you to
Donald
put it
Trump?
out.
Why
I
do you vote
want
for
you to
Trump?
put it out. I want you to put it out tonight and let everybody know so we can have about 4 or 5 thousand people in here tomorrow to
What?
show what type of frauds
Oh,
you
because
are.
you've got clout,
Both of
Chip.
you. Both of
Because,
you are
because,
total
because you have.
frauds.
So, Chip, let's
You
let's start.
what will
Let's
you
start.
do? What will you do after the
Chip,
election? What
Chip.
will
Let's
you
start
do
from
if you
scratch.
don't
You
beat
Chip,
have
Trump?
hold on.
258
What do you have?
followers. How are you going to leverage 258 to get to 4K?
Yeah, Chip. So let's start from scratch. I want to have a
No, no, no,
conversation with you,
no.
but
No,
hold
no,
on,
no, no.
Chip.
There's no
Chip, just shut
conversation.
your
I
mouth for a
posed a
second, bro. Just shut your mouth for a second. Self-control, big guy. Okay? Self-control. I would
will
like to
you
start.
do it?
Excuse
Will you
me.
show your charitable givings?
Excuse me. I would like to have a conversation with you. All right? I want to have a conversation. I just need to know a couple things first, okay? Let's start from scratch. What did you have for dinner tonight, okay?
What did you have for dinner first? And I'll tell you.
Nobody fucking cares. That
Seriously.
would be clout chasing, ladies and gentlemen. That is an example of clout
Yeah.
chasing right there.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah. You know who wants to brag about charitable givings?
You froze, Anthony.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. You might need to drop, bro. Come back up. The Listen, I have been. I don't brag about this. It's not something that I do. I've been donating to charities and volunteering my time since I was in grade school. My parents taught me that. I don't brag about it. But if you feel like you need to do that, Chip, for your clout, then you can come on back and then we can dog walk you officially. But you're welcome. You're totally welcome. I mean, I find it really interesting, Chip. Um, and I'm going to dub you the court jester for MAGA because you would like the clout chase. And I've worked hard to build up my followers here, and I'm happy to have a conversation with you, but don't be a boy. Try to be a man. I know that the pubic hair is still kind of grooming on your face, but try to be a man. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. It's a bad look, bro, to try to clout chase like that. What am I scared of, Ferrari? Jump in the box. Oh, okay. I just sent you an invite, Ferrari. You said I was scared. I just sent you an invite. Everybody, I just sent Ferrari an invite because he said that I was scared. Let's see if Ferrari takes me up on the offer. Ferrari, is
Ferrari
the
was
engine?
actually somebody's name.
Yeah, is the engine running, Ferrari? Because you just said that I was scared. I just sent you an invite.
That was
So
bold.
would that mean that I was scared or that you were scared? Oh, let's see.
Here we go. 812 specifically.
Ferrari, are you there? Hello, Ferrari. Ferrari. 0.5G in the chat. 0.5G. Okay. There you are. Hello, Ferrari.
Hello.
You said I was scared.
No, I think you should take. It sounds like you don't want to take his offer. Debate him.
It's not his offer wasn't to debate, bro.
Right.
His offer was, oh, you need to show all of your receipts and all of your tax write-offs for charity. I don't write off my charitable donations. Neither does Anthony.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, well then I apologize. I didn't hear that part. Okay, I came in late.
So who do you vote for?
I will not vote. I'm not going to vote Democrat. I'm sorry. We're seeing it. We've seen enough damage. Well, we still have time to decide.
Right, I didn't ask you that. Who are you planning on voting for?
I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm not going to vote Democrat.
Okay, so then that would mean that you're voting for Trump.
I don't know. I don't know if he'll even be. He may not even be running by the time the election comes up.
Can you answer me a question though, in sincerity? Okay.
Yes.
What would Donald Trump have to do for you to say that I am absolutely not voting for him?
What would he have to do for me to say I wouldn't vote for him?
Correct.
It's not what he would do or not do. It's what's going on right now in the country.
No, let me ask you the question again, okay? If you're going to make a choice to vote for somebody, I am asking you. Hold on. Okay. Let me ask the question. Hold on. I'm asking you specifically. What I'm trying to understand is, because you said you're not voting for a Democrat. That's what you said. Okay, fine. You made that clear. What I'm asking is, what would Donald Trump have to do for you to say, I'm not voting for Donald Trump?
I think you're asking me a question that's not very fair, because I'm not voting for the person. I'm voting for the party. The Democrat Party has destroyed pretty much everything we hoped for.
Like what?
Putting the highest inflation. Our gasoline prices are going to go skyrocketing through the roof.
So the
businesses are shutting down everywhere because crime policies.
Wait, one at a time. Hold on.
Okay.
One at a time. We're not going to let you gish gallop. One at a time. So it's Joe Biden's fault the gas prices went up?
Yes, it's the party.
So how? What did they do?
Down the pipeline.
Hold on. Did you say the pipeline?
The pipeline was shut down.
Okay, so the pipeline was shut down. So are you saying that the Keystone Pipeline is the reason that gas prices went up?
They're not trading. They want to.
I'm asking you.
They want to. They're going for the.
Can you answer a question, please? Please? Are you saying
yes.
that the reason that gas prices went up is because the Keystone Pipeline was shut down? Is that what you're saying?
Well, let me ask you. Okay, so the
Ferrari. It's a question,
all the
bro.
Other presidents.
Bro, you're not answering the question. Okay, I'm asking you a question. There's no whataboutisms here. It's a direct question because you referenced the pipeline, and I'm asking you. Are you saying that because the pipeline was shut down, that's why gas prices went up? Is that what your claim is?
Yes.
Okay, so
that's why
hold on.
We're no longer a threat.
Cool.
We're no longer a threat. We have no ways of getting oil.
So here's the funny thing about that. The Keystone Pipeline was shut down on July 6, 2020. Who was the president then?
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
No.
Yes.
Well, let me ask you this.
Wait, Ferrari, wait. Are you saying that's not true?
A barrel of oil was
$50. Ferrari, stop talking.
Okay.
Are you saying that the Supreme Court did not shut down the permits or the? Are you going to leave? Are you going to run? Are you going to run away? Don't run, Ferrari.
It sounds like he's on a tractor, first of all, or in the middle of manufacturing something.
So I made the claim that July 6, 2020 is when the Keystone Pipeline project, XL, by the way, not Keystone, the XL, that project stopped. Now, you said that's not true. So when we prove that to you, will you take the L?
Yes.
Cool. So do you have that article up, Anthony, or do you need me to pull it?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I was trying to look it up, and that's why I just looked like I was drifting. I was trying
got
to
it.
look it
Hold
up.
on. Hold on. I've got it. All right. So this is an article from the Associated Press. It's
Yep.
dated, what do you know? July 6, 2020, which is the date that I gave you. The U.S. Supreme Court handed another setback to the Keystone XL oil sands pipeline from Canada on Monday by keeping in place a lower court ruling that blocked a key environmental permit for the project. Canadian company TC Energy needs the permit to continue building the long disputed pipeline across the U.S. rivers and streams. Without it, the project that has been heavily promoted by Donald Trump faces more delays, just as work on it had finally begun this year following years of courtroom battles. Uh-oh.
Okay. Okay. So hold on. You said 2020 that was put in place.
July 6, 2020.
Okay. So if Trump would have been president 4 more years, would that you're saying that would have stayed the same?
Yeah, because the Supreme Court said because of our environmental issues that they were no longer going to continue the project.
The environmental issues, according to the people
US
that the Democrats paid.
The U.S. Supreme Court, Ferrari. The United States Supreme Court.
Okay, well, I'm lost on this. So,
You're
that wasn't my point.
Well, you said that wasn't my point. You're the one that, bro. You're the one that said the pipeline, and I asked you.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I asked you before. Be a man. Take the L, dude. Just be a man.
I'll take the L. Whatever that is going to help you with. I'm just saying the country was way better off before this lunatic of a administration got in place.
Okay, so
it was better for everybody.
How does Joe Biden affect? How does Joe Biden?
He doesn't affect anything.
Price?
He has nothing to do with anything. He's merely a puppet. He's not.
Okay.
He doesn't control anything.
Oh, okay.
He's just a puppet.
So who controls gas prices then, Ferrari?
The fact that we're no longer a threat getting our own oil.
But no, that's not the question. One second, Anthony. I'm asking you specifically. Who controls gas prices?
I don't know.
I
don't know. All I know is
statement. If you don't know, dude, then this is the thing. This is what fascinates me about people like you. You make all these claims, and then you're asked a simple question, and you can't even answer it.
Well, because I go by the facts that everything was lower priced before this administration took place.
Oh my God!
Tell me why it's higher.
Okay, can I explain to you why it's higher?
I'll be right back.
Yes, please. That would help me. Yes, help me out.
So, one, there's what are you doing in the background? Because that's super distracting.
I'm moving right now. I'm moving a large object around.
Okay.
So I'm going to shut it off. So okay. So explain to me why, so I know. I need to learn.
Okay.
Here.
So first, there is the concept of supply and demand. Do you understand the basics of that, or should I do a quick run through on that?
Let's do a quick run through.
Okay. So when you have a glut of supply and no demand, what happens to prices? You have more supply and no demand, the prices go down. Because of COVID, we literally ended up with tankers anchored offshore because there was not enough refining capacity to keep up because we had more supply than we had demand. Because of that, crude went to a net negative figure per barrel on the futures market. So, of course, oil went down. Trump also, in his infinite stupidity, went and made an agreement with OPEC to help them lower the amount of oil production, which then cut supply, right? So as COVID lifted and there was not enough supply and the demand was full because people went back to work, the price of oil went up, which means the price at the pump went up. Had Trump handled COVID appropriately, had not made that deal with OPEC, the spike in oil prices would have been what we naturally see during an economic boom time, meaning there is more demand than there is supply. So the Biden administration said, okay, we're going to do a couple of things. One of them is we're going to release oil from the strategic reserve, and we're going to kind of fluff the market a little bit and try to get oil to come down. And then under the Biden administration, they have also allowed by permit more drilling per day. We are pulling more barrels of oil out of the earth per day than we ever have in the entire history of the United States. So much so that it dwarfs Trump's numbers. And yet you will see that because demand is still high, the cost is still high because there's still just not enough supply because OPEC, in their protectionism, has cut their supply. And we are not energy independent, meaning that we have to import oil, right? In order to have refined fuels. Now, what did Trump also do during his presidency? Well, he helped shut down refineries and sold them to overseas counterparties. So now the United States has a lack of refining capacity because of his mishandling of COVID. So until refining capacity gets back to where it was pre-COVID, which is probably going to take at least 10 years at this point, the price of oil will continue to rise. The price at the pump will continue to rise because there is a high demand. When you look at all economic indicators, you will see this. We can meet privately offline, and I will show you all of the numbers that I look at on a daily basis. And it's all factual stuff. I'm not making this stuff up. This is stuff that I know is true because I actually go to the source, right? So I go to EIA.gov and I can show you how many barrels of oil are produced a day. And that's where all the numbers are gathered. I suggest that you follow a gentleman named Mr. Global. He is way smarter in this area than I am, but he will pretty much back up everything I just said.
Well, I appreciate the input. I'll look into that, and I do have to go.
Thank
I'll
you.
look into you guys because you have some valid points.
I
And
appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, hang in there, and we'll
Thank
talk
you.
later. Thanks.
All right, Ferrari. Thank you.
well.
Come back.
Thanks.
I will. Thank you very much.
So, the opportunity to learn is really important. And I think, I
It's
see
key.
the chat scrolling. Yeah,
It's key.
The chat scrolling by to saying that, we were energy independent on Trump. And I want to address that real quick. So that was the claim that Trump made. So
right.
If we were energy independent, now, first of all, people who make that claim, I don't even think you know what you mean by that. So I think what you think you mean is that we don't buy oil from anybody else. Well, that was just wrong. Oil is traded on the global market. And something else, I heard you talk about the SPR. I want to remind people of something. That yes, Joe Biden sold oil from the SPR at a higher price. Guess what? Bought it back and refilled it at a lower price. We made money on that deal. That's what capitalists do. And Joe Biden is a capitalist, FYI. So everybody continue to tap and share. We really appreciate that. Just real quickly, I just want to do this real quick. Hold on, stand by. TikTok, it's our intention during these live broadcasts to only provide fact-based information to the absolute best of our ability. We strive to never spread misinformation or to platform those that do. Opinions of our guests or commenters are theirs and theirs alone and do not reflect those of the hosts. Hate speech is not allowed and we are diligent about policing it. This platform is for educational purposes only. And Anthony loves the TikTok shop. Please visit the various
I love
links in
all
our
things
bio.
TikTok.
Yes, you do. Please visit the various links in our bio, including the merch store with sweatshirts and hats and mugs and all kinds of cool stuff. So, all right, continuing on this evening. Let's bring up Red Truck. Thank you, friends. Continue to like and share the live. We really appreciate that. Good evening, Red Truck. How are you tonight? Red Truck. Hello, Red Truck. How are you? Okay. Red Truck had stage fright. Red Truck got a flat tire. Sorry, Red Truck. And that guest didn't want to come up either. So we'll try Strawberry.
It's a different life.
Hi, Strawberry. How are you?
Yeah.
Strawberry? Hello, Strawberry.
Well, look at my grandfather. My grandfather
Strawberry,
left
did you
us
mean to
for this
request?
land.
Hi, Strawberry.
You know, the land that I decided to build on.
I don't think she wanted to come up. I'll let her down.